after a catastrophic Third World War. The world lies in ruins, leading to the formation of a dystopian city-state called Libria. The state is governed by the Tetragrammaton Council, with a leader known as Father, who remains secluded from society. The council enforces a daily injection of prosium on all citizens. This drug suppresses emotions, ensuring unwavering obedience. Anything that can evoke emotions, such as arts and pets, are banned, with violations facing execution. To enforce these laws, the council deploys highly skilled warriors known as clerics and maintains a strong police presence to uphold order and uniformity. Among these clerics are John Preston and his partner Errol Partridge. Leading a police team, they raid an underground operation in a deserted part of the city called the Nether. The Nether is a known refuge for the Resistance, a group opposing the council's rule. Unlike the general populace, they do not take prosium, allowing them to experience emotions. They eliminate all individuals associated with the underground operation. Following the successful mission, they destroy all art discovered in the building before departing. On the way to the headquarters, John asks Errol why didn't he leave a copy of Yeats' poems, which they found during the raid with the evidence team for proper logging. Errol insists on personally logging it to ensure it's done properly and not overlooked. John attends a debriefing with Vice Consul DuPont, known as Father's Voice, where we learn of John's exceptional ability to detect emotions in others. Ironically, he failed to notice his own wife's emotions, leading to her arrest and execution 4 years prior, leaving John to raise their 2 children, a boy and a girl alone. The boy is now on the path to becoming a cleric himself, growing suspicious of his partner's Errol's emotions. John investigates and discovers Errol did not log the Yeats poem found during the raid. He also learns Errol has been visiting Nether, where Errol admits to having emotions. In a tragic turn, John is forced to kill Errol. John is paired with a new partner, Brand. The following morning, John accidentally breaks his last vital prosium, skipping his morning doors. He visits the Equilibrium Center for replacement vials and heads out for a raid with Brand. Instead of executing the offender, Mary O'Brien, immediately, John intervenes and instructs Brand to bring her in for interrogation. Skipping his morning dose causes John's suppressed emotions to resurface. As a result, he decides to stop taking the ejection and breaks all of his replacement vials. Later, John and his partner Brand conduct a raid in the Nethers on a group responsible for boning and prosium factory. During the operation, John discovers a room filled with various items, including a gramophone. He plays Beethoven composition on the gramophone and is moved to tears by the music. While waiting outside as the raided building burns, Brand questions John about why he kept a book instead of leaving it for the evidence team. John insists on logging it himself to ensure proper documentation. The police then request their assistance in checking on some dogs kept by the offenders. Feeling sorry for the animals, John makes up an excuse about epidemic prevention to save one of the dogs. That night, John lies to the police at the gate, claiming he is going to the Nethers for enforcement purposes. Brand, suspicious of John's behavior, tails him. John takes the saved dog to the Nethers and is caught by a group of police while petting an animal. As they search his trunk and find the dog, they prepare to shoot it. Using his exceptional martial arts and firearm combat skills, John eliminates all the policemen. The following day, at the training ground, Brand confronts John, hinting that he knows about his actions in the Nethers. Brand expresses satisfaction that the council has decreed an acceleration in the crackdown of offenders, believing it will hasten the end of the resistance. They raid another sector in the Nethers. During the raid, John intervenes to save a group of men, fighting off and eliminating some of the police so the men can escape. However, Brand catches up to them and insists that John eliminated them. John tries to suggest taking them into the interrogation instead, but Brand disagrees, resulting in the police executing the men. John has a vital meeting with Vice Consul DuPont, seeking the permission to infiltrate and dismantle the resistance. He retrieves his former partner Errol's belongings from the morgue and questions Mary O'Brien about Errol. Initially, Mary denies knowing Errol. However, when John shows her a picture of them together and mentions that he killed Errol, she becomes defensive. John then confronts a reading room teacher about Errol, who also denies knowing him. After John threatens to expose him as an offender, the teacher admits that Errol had visited him with a man named Jürgen. John then throws him a fake wall, revealing a hidden room. Upon entering, John finds Jürgen waiting for him. Jürgen presses a button that opens a hidden door on the ground. taking them to the underground. Jürgen tests John with a polygraph to detect human emotions. As John sits with Jürgen, he asks how he can help the resistance. Jürgen responds that John can kill Father, the leader of the Tetragrammaton Council. John is summoned to the Vice Consul DuPont office, where DuPont reveals a rumor that one of the clerics has ceased taking prosium doses, started experiencing emotions, and is trying to contact the resistance. DuPont tasks John with finding the traitor and locating the resistance for punishment. Meanwhile, John develops romantic feelings for Mary, who is scheduled for incineration. On the day of her incineration, John rushes to stop the process but arrives too late. Finding the machine's doors closed, Mary is incinerated, shattering John emotionally. Unable to contain his grief, he breaks down and cries on the street. Witnessing John's emotional outburst, Brandt arrests him. Brandt escorts John to DuPont, accusing John of being a traitor and responsible for killing policemen in the Nethers. However, John counters, accusing Brandt of being the traitor. DuPont informs Brandt that his weapon was identified as one of the used in the Nethers killings. Upon checking, Brandt discovers he is carrying John's weapon, realizing John swapped them earlier. Although Brandt insists he has John's gun because of the switch, John asserts that Brandt actually took it upon arresting him. DuPont orders the guards to take Brandt to the Hall of Destruction for the execution. As a protocol following his arrest, a search team arrives at John's house, prompting him to rush home. John discovers that the prosium doses he had hidden behind his bathroom mirror are missing. His son enters the bathroom and reveals the doses, advising John to be more cautious in the future. John asks his son when he stopped taking the prosium doses, and his son explains that he and his sister stopped since their mother was executed. In a plan orchestrated with the Underground, John tricks the Vice Consul's office into believing he has found the Resistance. This leads to the arrest of the Resistance leaders, earning John a meeting with Father. However, before meeting Father, John is subjected to a polygraph test, during which Brandt unexpectedly appears. Father appears through a telescreen, revealing that he used John to reach the Resistance and orchestrated Brandt's arrest to deceive John into thinking he was successful. Father is then revealed to be Vice Consul DuPont. He explains that the original Father had died long ago, and DuPont was chosen by the Tetragrammaton Council as the new head of the state. To avoid arrest, the death of the original Father was concealed from the public. John, consumed by rage upon discovering he was manipulated into aiding the destruction of the Resistance, arms himself with hidden pistols. He swiftly eliminates all guards in his path as he advances towards Brandt and DuPont. John and Brandt engage in a fierce duel with swords, but John proves to be the superior fighter, defeating Brandt. John and DuPont face off, armed with handguns, showcasing their expertise in gun kata. In an intense battle, John gains the upper hand and illuminates DuPont. Following DuPont's demise, John destroys the propaganda machines that transmit messages throughout Libria, along with the device projecting holographic images of Father. This action triggers the Resistance to attack the Council guards and detonate explosives in the prosium factories. The movie ends with a chaotic uprising that marks the downfall of the Librian government. That'll be all for today's recap. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.